Hello and welcome to Pardon the Integration, Security, the Silver Lining of the Cloud, a podcast where we tackle three top trends in the channel today. I'm your host, Ed Hannon, and my guest today is Drew Schlussel, Director of Product Marketing with Wasabi Technologies. Drew has worked in the storage industry for more than 20 years with pioneering companies like Wasabi, EMC, Quantum, and Sun Microsystems. His work spans the technology and business spectrum, including engineering management, product management, and product marketing. He's worked on scale-up and scale-out SAN, NAS, and object storage systems for SMBs and Fortune 1000 enterprises. He's worked with customers from practically every industry vertical, including a few he's not allowed to talk about. And his hobbies include hiking, skiing, and cycling. Thanks so much for being here, Drew. And again, let's get down to it. And today, Drew and I are going to talk about security, the silver lining of the cloud, and how our program works is we have three topics we'll discuss throughout the broadcast in 3 minutes to talk about each. Our first topic is feel the heat of ransomware. Our second topic, secure your data in the cloud. And our third topic, Wasabi works wonders. And as you watch today's program, you'll see a countdown clock on the bottom of your screen. But let's get started with segment one, feel the heat of ransomware. And Drew, is ransomware still a hot topic with your partners and their customers?
Absolutely, Ed. We are seeing deals coming flying through the door right now. The heat is on from the insurance companies. They're balking at re-signing policies until they see good, countermeasures in place. And customers are coming to us with a fistful of cash saying, we want in.
You talked about insurance companies. What's the big challenge with ransomware when it comes to insurance companies?
Yeah, so the insurance companies want to know that the cyber protection mechanisms that are put in place can be validated. And one of the things that they are very big on right now is immutable backups, right? It's been done for a while. You can do it on-prem, but what they are now expressing a favoritism for is cloud-based backup, right? A lot harder to compromise, a lot harder to, for the bad guys to get in there and do bad things. So, internet air gapping, if you will, of backup data has become a major improvement in backup processes, and the insurance companies have caught wind of it, and they're now looking to see that that's being implemented.
And just to close the loop on the insurance stuff, you and I have talked about this before, but what is proof of insurance and why is it important?
Well, depending on what service, said company is providing, right? A lot of customers will not, put their data out there unless they can see, right, that there is some form of insurance, some guarantee, right, that their data can be restored or, first of all, protected, right, encrypted and so forth, but also restored in the case of an incident. And imagine you and I having our bank accounts wiped out, right? Pretty sure that the big banks have some good insurance going for them.
Let's move to segment two, secure your data in the cloud. First question, what makes the cloud so attractive for securing data?
Wow, there's a lot of things. I think, first and foremost, I think it's simplicity, right? Just, it's so easy to get cloud storage up and running and secure. We work with a number of great backup and DR partners, and the feedback is consistently the same, right? Integrating with Wasabi, using the immutable storage, it takes literally minutes. And this goes back to the previous question, right? Companies are literally coming in and doing deals with a backup company and with Wasabi in under 24 hours, right? That's how simple and how well known Wasabi is now in providing these solutions, along with our Burra partners.
Now, Drew, what does it take to secure data in the cloud?
A big keychain. No. First of all, you need a great partner who understands what's at risk, right? Who understands the right solution for your data. You need a good application that can manage all of this data. And you need a storage service that can provide things like immutability so that as the data is put into the cloud, nobody, and I mean nobody, can mess with it, right? Not your sysadmins, not the operators of the cloud service, right? As long as you're using other things like multi-factor authentication and you're protecting your root account, that data is protected, period, end of story.
And finally, just to close the loop on this section, what best practices should the audience of folks watching this program, listening to this program, share with their customers when it comes to securing data in the cloud?
Yeah, I'll start with my favorite one, and I'll do two. I'll keep it quick, right? Multi-factor authentication. Turn it on, use it. Stop sharing passwords. Stop using the same password for all your applications. It's a disaster waiting to happen, right? I have it for everything, all my credit cards, all my banking, for Google, for all my backup services. Use it, use it, use it. I think the other part of that equation, right, is to make sure that you understand the impact of immutability, right? And I keep hammering on this, right? There is a lot of work that goes into a good backup plan and bringing immutability into the picture, right? Because once you store it, right, it's not going to be, that capacity is consumed for a week, a month, however long you want to keep those backups. But make sure you understand how immutability can and should fit into your data protection scheme.
Yeah, multi-factor authentication is a good one, because I remember when I first started using it, I remember that transition toward it. It was a real pain. It was kind of annoying. It's like, wait a minute, so I got to do another thing, another thing, another thing. But once you kind of get comfortable with it, it really is like having a second lock on your stuff, and it feels so much better than how exposed you feel without it. So
it's all based on your cell phone, right? You carry around the token, or you get it through SMS. And who doesn't go anywhere without their phone?
Exactly. So let's move to segment 3, Wasabi Works Wonders. And first question, and I remember when you and I were prepping for the program, we were kind of going back and forth on this first one, but what should be a part of vendor best practices?
Wow. Well, I mean, we stated some of the obvious things, right? The implementation of multi-factor authentication. I would almost even say the requirement, all right? Not just a nice to have. I think it should be a requirement. In terms of other things, I think that the backup is just the first part of the solution, right? There really should be a very simple, easy way to validate the integrity of that data and make sure that it can be restored, right? All the best, horror stories I've ever heard from customers is that they suddenly needed to restore something. Could have been something very simple. And lo and behold, it took hours, if not days. And at the end of it all, it didn't have full integrity. And they basically wasted 2 days to restore nothing. So make sure that you have good best practices in place for testing your backups.
I can remember when backup was like the thing, like that was the revolutionary thing, was backup. And now it's the first step. That used to be the big step, and now it's the first step.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Now it's foundational, and it used to be sort of a big deal. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you probably do this. I do this. All of my computers at home are backed up, right? And I mean, I have them going to 2 different clouds to back them up, because I've got pictures of my family going back, 20 years now. Yep. I can't lose those. My wife will kill me.
Question 2, what should our audience do to heighten data security and protect against ransomware?
I think that's the human factor, right? Train your people to be aware of the threat, right? Don't just treat it like, badging into the building, right? That was always a thing at some of the bigger companies I worked for, right? Look at your surroundings, who's behind you, who's coming in without a badge. Same thing, right? Look at your emails, learn how to inspect the 2, right? Do the little drop down and see where that email really came from. And if it smells rotten, it probably is, and test them regularly, and reward the people that are doing it right, and, train the people that need to be trained.
All right, I've given you all the hard questions. Now I get the last one's the easiest one of all. This is really the easiest one I can think of. But why should solution providers and the audience watching today's program turn to Wasabi?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I'll say this, and especially relevant for this time of year, Wasabi is for closers, okay? If you are pitching a solution to a customer and the bottom line is the dollars, right? Wasabi and our cost savings will help you close that deal, plain and simple.
Well said. And unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. I love talking to Drew. When I get a chance to talk to Dave Bolin, I like to talk to him as well. Drew, thanks so much for being here today. Before we go, I've got some takeaways that I'd like to share from today's program. And as those If you watched and listened, you probably have a bunch of your own, but here are mine. Number one, ransomware is still a problem that can affect anyone and everyone and must be taken seriously. Number two, securing your data in the cloud can be a very quick and attractive solution for securing your data. And finally, as you heard right at the end, Wasabi is a closer. And when you need a solution for securing your data, turn to Wasabi. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Once again, on behalf of Drew Schlussel, I'm Ed Hannon. You've been watching Pardon the Integration, Security, the Silver Lining of the Cloud. Take care and have a great day.